Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to your phonics and spelling learning for this morning. Today, we're going to start looking at something called plurals in our learning, thinking about adding suffixes s and es to turn words from being in their singular form, where there's just one thing, to their plural form, where there's more than one of them. So let's have a look. So our learning objective is to be able to use the plurals with s and es at the end of the words. We're going to understand that singular means just one thing, plural means more than one thing, and then you're going to have a go at changing nouns from being in their singular form to their plural form. You'll know what I mean by this as we move through the learning. So, what is a noun? I wonder if you could remind anybody at home what a noun is. Can you remember what one of those is? Talk about that now for a moment. Maybe pause the video here before I move on. So if you said that a noun is a person, a place, or a thing, you were absolutely right. A noun is a naming word. So, for example, this noun here, it's a dog. That thing is called a dog. Pencil. It's also an example of a thing. That thing we see that we use to write with is called a pencil. The naming word for it is pencil. And then we have cat. I wonder if you can think of any other nouns. I can think of lots of nouns. I'm sitting in my classroom now, so I can see a whiteboard. A noun could be the carpet. Noun could be England. It could be the country that we're in. It could be a bridge. They can also be feelings, things we can feel, like sad, happy. Words that name anything. This is important today because nouns can be in their singular form or their plural form. That's why we had to remind ourselves what they are. So, what exactly is a plural? I wonder if any of you have any ideas already. Maybe shout them out at me if you do. Some of you were listening to me earlier. You're right. Plurals are when we have a noun, but there's more than one of them. So, for example, here I have just one cat. Single means one. So that's a singular cat. So there's just one. When I have plural of cat, I have more than one cat. Here I have 3 cats to be precise. You might notice that when there's only one of them, cat is just spelt as the word sounds. When there's more of them, we don't say 3 cat, we say 3 cats. We have added the s suffix onto the end of the word to show there is more than one cat. Let's have a look at some examples for today. So, remembering singular means there's just one, plural means there's more than one. I can have one dog, or I can have lots of dogs. So I can hear that phoneme being added to the end of the word, and it's spelt here with the letter S. I wonder if you can tell me what one door would become. That's right, it would be lots of doors. So we've got that S on the end again, spelt with the letter S. You can do this one now. We have one pencil, but what if I have more of them? Then I have, you're right, lots of pencils. Fantastic. I can have one lamp, but it's a bit dark in here, so I need some more. What about when I have more of them? I would have lots of lamps. So remember, singular means one. Can you say that after me? Singular means one. Fantastic. Plural means more than one. Can you say that after me? Plural means more than one. Lovely. Singular, just one thing. Plural, more than one thing. So, if I have one beach, what would it be called if I have more than one of those things? Yes, beach would become beaches. Now notice this time, I haven't just got an S on the end. I've got an E and an S on the end. It's a different suffix used. Let's look at some others. Clock. What if there's more of them? That would become, you've got it, clocks. Just the S on the end this time. What would friend become? I have one friend, or I have lots of friends. Yes, you've got it. I think you've got this now. Singular, just one fox. What would it be as a plural? Yes, there would be foxes. So you'll notice these words have either the suffix with just an S on the end or an ES. We're going to look at these rules a little bit now, and you're going to practice these things today before we come and revisit them again tomorrow. So there's lots of rules, but today we're just going to look at 2 of them when we are turning a singular word into its plural form. First of all, what have I got here? What's the singular word you can see here? Yes, it's a pear, isn't it? What do I have over here? I have pears. There's more than one of them. There's actually 3 pairs here. So for most words, we just add the letter S to the end of it to change it from being a singular word to a plural. This is a nice, easy rule for today. A bit like when we learnt about using the suffixes ing and ed with the ed, where we could just pop it on the end of the words. For lots of words, when we're changing them from singular, meaning one, to plural, being more than one, we just pop an S on the end. So we've got 1 pair, 3 pairs. The S has been added to the end of the word. This is a suffix here. Desk would become desks. Book would become books. Pen becomes pens. And then you can see the other words coming again. You'd notice they all just have the letter S on the end. Does that sound like an easy rule to remember? I think so too. But we're going to have a look at another rule as well today before you go away and practice. Sometimes a word, a root word, remember that's the word we begin with before we add a suffix, will end with a soft hissing or buzzing sound. And when it does, we have a slightly different rule. These sounds could include our sh sound, our ch, s, x, and z sounds. These graphemes, when they are used at the end of a word, making those soft hissing and buzzing sounds, when we hear those at the end of a word or see them at the end of a word, we don't just add S, we actually add an E and an S together. For example, if we have a look at the word fox here, if I just add an S onto the end, this is what it would sound like. Fox. It didn't sound any different. I've got here, if we would sound it out, ox, fox. It doesn't sound right at all, does it? So we need that extra syllable. Remember, syllables are the units of sound we can kind of hear in a word. When I say fox, I can just hear 1 unit of sound. When I say foxes, I can hear 2 units of sound. So we have to add the E in to make it sound right. But notice how we don't say fox S, we say fox is. So quite often the E and the S is pronounced as is. So let's have a look at some words using this rule. So we can have 1 brush. It's got that soft hissing sound at the end of the word. It's got an SH grapheme. So we need to add the ES to say there are 2 brushes. Remember, we pronounce that ES as is. What would box become? It's got that X at the end. So it's going to become, that's right, boxes, with the ES on the end of the word, not just an S on its own. Glass, got that hissing sound at the end, becomes glasses. Dish becomes dishes. Church becomes churches. So you can see here we've had to add the ES suffix to the end to make sure those words can be pronounced correctly. So for today's learning, I'd like you to have a look at the assignment for today and find the resource. There is 1 worksheet for you to have a go at. It has a picture of some singular items and then plural items of the same thing. What I'd like you to do is to write the word in the singular box for what you have. For example, you might just have a brush, so you would write brush into your box. Then on the box next to it, you need to look at what you've got in its plural form and then write the word as a plural. So if I have brush and I can hear that soft hissing or buzzing sound, I know I need to add ES to make it into its plural form. If it doesn't have one of those sounds or graphemes, you know you can just add S for today. Make sure you sound out those words carefully, thinking about the graphemes you're using so that you can add these spellings correctly. When you've done that, if you want to challenge yourself, you could maybe look around your home and find some items that are singular and plural and write them down and put them onto a piece of paper to help you. All of the things I've just said I have also written onto the assignment instructions so you don't have to remember. What you might want to do is to go back and perhaps save this page on your screen so that you can see this when you're practicing your spellings. So if you notice one of these graphemes at the end of the word, you know you're adding ES. Good luck with your learning, and we'd like you to send your evidence in as a picture to us on Teams, please. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.